business deal.
Hemis maksał, it's not smash again, what's it? Say mama, bye, but everything goes miss. Just get the woman again, like, so you can keep it check. My God, that was something. Okay.
Alex, the rest of your eminence deal.
Enemies marked south. It's not smash the camera. Say mama, bye, but everything goes miss. Just give it one again, like this. You can keep it check. My part, I never thought to okay.
Hello everybody, welcome to the show. Hopefully I'm coming through to you guys. It is the 27th of September. Today is a Saturday, 8 o'clock, 8:30 even. A little bit slow on the start today. I'm going to bring in the music a little bit. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. Alright, we're here. Episode 260, Scuffed Epoch. I'm Drift Johnson. This is Latent Space Live. We're here every day at 8 UK time. And like I said, we've been doing this for nearly a year straight now. Got a couple of days off, I guess. But now, I've got to warn you guys. I am in a state of decaffeination because ungodly amounts of caffeine. We've done a start to finish, end to end. This project was completely built from scratch after the show last night until now. So it's been a real one. And this is a huge breakthrough. And I can't wait to show you guys. Funny thing about this is, a lot of people will be like, what the? Right? Let me just see if I can de-explode if... the dark mode sucks. Oh, well, what can you do? So basically, guys, we're going to have to talk about it. But I don't want to completely blast you with 100% zero vector. I did promise you guys images tonight. So we're going to have some images running at the same time. There's no reason why we can't do both, right? But the point I'm trying to make is this is massive. I mean, I don't even know how to underscore this. I've been working on this for like over a year. It works. And the stupid thing is, I don't even have a vector database anymore. This is a completely new approach. I got to stress that. I don't think any, but there may be some research teams that are playing around with similar concepts, but I don't think anybody's going to just give you a free use platform where you just put your own keys in and off you go, right? So this is like my solution to a lot of problems, okay? But let's just say hello to everybody first, shall we? Like I said, I'm a little bit bombastic tonight. So, hello, Fernicar, Battlecruiser operational, liked and subscribed. Now, where were we? Full Dive Media, hi, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. Like I said, this is a huge breakthrough. I can't wait to explain, like, why it is. Because on the face of it, it just looks like a normal chat. And you don't need to show the user all the stuff on the right. I would doubt that you would ever be given that. I think you would just be given a normal chat interface, okay? But this is crazy. So it deals with a lot of problems that come from this kind of system. Anyway, we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to show you how I did it. So don't worry about the processing time. That's normal when you've got like 5 agents working together. Okay. So let me see. What else have we got? Kurt Curtis. Hey, y'all. How's it going? Boyo's Marvelous Medicine. He needs to get a drink. Oh, I'm on the other account. And Dragon's here. Well, right. So we're all here, guys. So what I'm going to say is, I'm going to do some images on the side, but we're going to spend like the first, I don't know, the first part just going over this because I need to get it out. I need to get it out of the system, guys. That's just the real I'm going to be open sourcing everything up to 0 vector 6 as well. So we're going to make public all of the repos, whether they work or not, in whatever stage they are. Because at this point, I'm actually, I don't need, this is the irony, right? 0 vector was supposed to be 0 vector. And I think we've done it. Because technically the memory is now holographic. And we're going to talk about that. So this is actually a massive thing. Like, I haven't even started messing with system prompts yet, honestly. Let me just show you a little quick demo so it's not like completely abstract, right? So this right here that we're looking at on the screen, this is 0 vector 6. So if I just boom, I've got it working. 0 vector 6 holo. It's all working, okay? It's essentially the brain architecture that we were working on yesterday. Do we still have it? No, it's not there. And it has a bunch of cool features like web search. It has memory. It has, look, let me just show you. So if I just open up the settings panel here, you've got an open router key for your LLM. So it's model agnostic. In theory, I mean, I've tested it with Sonnet 4, but in theory, your mileage may vary. However, you should be able to pick anything from that list. Now, obviously there's caveats. I bet there's a few models that are like weird. And also I have optimized it to read Markdown, which Sonnet does put out. It puts out Markdown. So it's sort of like, you know, nothing is ever finished, right? But 11 labs, okay, for the TTS. It'll fall back to SAPI, so just like, you know, Stephen Hawking style if you don't have a key. And then obviously your Perplexity API key. Now I recommend Sonar because it's nice and it's lightweight and it's cheap. But if you want it to be a bit more, use Sonar Pro. I have no idea why it keeps including these. They'll probably break everything. Don't click them. But yeah, Sonar and Sonar Pro definitely work. The other three you need like Pro account anyway, so I can't test them. It gives you the list. I don't know why it keeps giving me Llama 3.1. That's so weird because you can't pick it anymore. But anyway, model configuration. The default model is going to be that's inner thoughts. So this is a brain. It has like a central brain stem, and there's an inner thoughts conductor or orchestrator, depending on what language you use for multi-agent architectures. So the central brain core, that's your orchestrator, and he is going to be on Sonnet 4. Now, frontal lobe, we can have different lobes for the reasoning and also for the memory and speech. Okay, so frontal lobe, temporal lobe, and also occipital lobe. Just make sure that one actually is a valid image model, otherwise it will throw errors or just be like, oh, I'm confused about the image, you know. Obviously in the voice settings I've got 11 labs, so I'm going to use George, and then we have the features. So obviously text to speech, web search, cognitive trace, so this will show us, it'll drill in and show all of the thought chain. The speech summary is nice. This is a naturally spoken version of the output which gets automatically said. Now I've been working on this a lot. It's not quite the same as his ZV5 Lite's version. It's kind of a little bit different. He says a bit more, but he summarizes it better. He still announces that he's going to speak naturally, though. I can't seem to stop that. Yeah. But anyway, this has got, like I say, auto speech for the summary. And then holographic processing. This is the big one. And I'm going to talk as much about everything else first, because this bit is like, I don't even know what kind of... Basically, we'll get into it. So everything's active, right? Now I said, what are the names of what are the names of Anthropic's latest models? Now, if you don't have web search on, it will tell you Anthropic Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Because it doesn't, you know, the knowledge cut off. It doesn't know it doesn't know that it exists, if you see what I mean. But when you have that on, the web search happens. And so he says, can we replay this? Turn the volume up. Oh, something's not working. Click that one. Uh-oh, now I've broken it. Me clicking buttons too much. Right, so in a minute it's going to blast me. Probably. Whatever. Right.
Here's how I'd explain that conversationally. So, Anthropic just came out with their newest AI models in 2025, and they've got two main ones in what they're called based on the latest information. Anthropic's most recent AI
that was my fault.
Released in 2025 are Claude 4 family models, Claude Opus 4, Anthropic's flagship and most advanced model, positioned as the world's
Okay, you
best...
get it. So basically what just happened there was I played the summary version, which we listened to, and then I played the full version, which is the red icon. So it's possible to have him TTS dictate, you know. So then when you save it, you actually get all the audio files for whatever project you're working on. That's the idea anyway. I've got a funny feeling that it's sort of overwriting things. It's a bit strange how it does it, because it doesn't really download the files. But, you know, these are the sorts of things which you would change with more development. The point is, it does work. So that's not the focus, but it does work. If we take a look at the cognitive trace, this is what it says. Inner thoughts, intent. User wants to know the current latest AI models released by Anthropic. Context. This appears to be the start of a new conversation with no prior context to build upon. So that's, you know, he can do the conversation chain. Plan. Provide accurate information about Anthropic's most recent model releases, including, focusing on Claude 2. Lol. What the hell? I didn't ask that. Anyway. 90% confidence. Acknowledge Anthropic is the company being asked about. List the most recent known models, Claude 2 and variants. Note when these models were released if known. Mention any relevant capabilities or distinctions. I think I might have had like 3.5 or something selected by accident. Whatever, we changed it a minute ago. Include a caveat that more recent releases may have occurred since the last update. You know, this is the sort of thing that you get from the model, right? But then, web search. What's the name of the 2025, right? Oh, it's Opus 4 and Sonnet 4. So he's got the information in the web search, right? So he actually knows. So he sends that on to the frontal lobe, applied systematic reasoning to generate response. Analyzed request, generated comprehensive response. We see here he's talking about, there it is, that's the latest information. You see, and it's really good information too. It's not just like what you would get from a web search. It's more, you know what I mean? So it's very good, very good. And then he does a speech summary, so a naturally spoken version. So that would be like what you could use in a podcast or a video or some kind of essay type thing. And then we have the holographic enhancement. Now this is the new bit, which is a little abstract. So I'm just going to tell you what it says. So we got active waves. The brain thinks with brain waves. It doesn't think in a linear way. So I had to change the whole way the async works to mimic multi-frequency broadcasting with interference to... Anyway, like I say, so context 0.5 hertz, intent 1 hertz, reasoning 1.2 hertz. I've exposed all of this with parameterization, so you can actually, we're going to look at it, you can customize this thing. Memory fragments, 5 fragments. Again, it's got a holographic memory now. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But like I say, without taking forever to explain this, let's just go full screen. Can I pull this out? Am I in the way? You can't even see me. I'm too much of a white guy. If I just pull that down. Right. So, overview. See, it's got the stuff, right? Memory system optimal. These are actually not fake numbers. They're actually reflective of what's going on. So if I go to the memory section, we can flush the memory because it does remember. It's in your browser data. So your agent memory is now in the browser and it's holographic. So what that means is there's a copy of all the memory in every brain lobe. So you don't need a dedicated memory server because all of the lobes are capable of carrying that data anyway as fragments. And then we use fast Fourier transformer to reconstruct them because the LLM can do that too. You know, he can think about it. Anyway, I don't want to go too far, but as you can see under reasoning, we have a reasoning fragment of memory for this. And then under context, we have an intent and a context. All right. Based on what we've just done here. If we go to coherency, we can see the wave type distribution. So at the moment, it's 1-to-1. That's weird. That's weird. I've not seen that before. It's probably because it's the first one. So it's not giving me the scale for some reason. There should be a label on there of what they are. I believe that's like context and memory. Oh, I know why. There's no memory chart. There's no memory because it's the first post. It's just started up fresh. Okay, cool. Let's go back a bit more. There we go. So let's just watch it run something and see what happens. Yeah. So how about we're talking about Claude Sonnet 4. I'll be like, please report on the latest open AI models. And web search on. Go. So it's doing holographic reconstruction, wave interference, and memory coherence. Those are the 3 elements. I'm not sure if it's actually marked to each type of brainwave. I don't think it's that strict. What I did was I tried to mimic it. But I can give you like a good explanation of this and how it was done. And I'm just surprised it's working. I'll be real. And the thing is, it sort of takes advantage of the hallucinatory effect that's built into all LLMs. They all want to do this. And so we've simulated his memory. And then he perfectly can do it because we can save these fragments, which is enough to reconstruct them. It's kind of like tins for engrams. So anyway, I've got to keep going on. So here we go. We got 4 active waves, the coherency of 93.75%. We got 4 memory fragment, new fragments. So remember, they're going to add on, right? Okay.
Here's how I'd explain that conversationally.
Here we go.
You know, OpenAI has really stepped up their game with their latest releases. The big headline is their new GPT-4o family. The O stands for Omni because it can handle pretty much everything. Text, images, voice, you name it. It's like their Swiss Army knife model.
That's weird, no
and it's significantly
GPT-5.
faster than what they had before. They've also got a smaller version called GPT-4o Mini, which is more budget-friendly but still pretty capable. But what I find really interesting is their new O1 series, which is specifically designed for complex reasoning and problem-solving. It actually takes a bit more time to think before responding, which leads to more thoughtful answers, especially for things like coding and math problems. The cool thing about all these new models...
I'm going to pause him. It looks like actually for some reason the search didn't work on this. If I look in the trace, the search didn't actually run. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. But regardless, we can still take a look at what it did. So now we've got a bunch more memory fragments in our browser, okay? And like I said, you can use this to build up memory over time, and then you can customize an agent now. So this is nice. So all that being said, let's move on to the parameters, because I got 2 handbooks which we're going to release today to explain this. This is going to be a little bit insane. Just a little bit insane, but I'm doing this for open research. We're exposing this for open research because I don't even know what the best values are. It's a holographic brain. Who knows what the right values are? And we can explain what this actually is, you know. So obviously this would be like an amount of attention or a slice of balance. I mean, they're actually wave frequencies, okay? It's not, it's trying to emulate it all to the best of its ability. It's crazy. But anyway, we've got frequencies for context, intent, confidence, temporal, so the speech component, memory, persona, reasoning, and visual. Now, obviously, if you're not using image input, that's not really going to be a factor. But everything else will be running all the time. As for the interference thresholds, it's possible to change the constructive, destructive, emergent, and then the decay rate. These things all actually have effect on the system. So it is a brain. It's a constant signal. Hey, Dom, I'm glad you could make it. This is a big one tonight. This is a big one. So, like I said, this is the wave-based interference cognition, right? So we've got, instead of having like a linear async type promise thing, we're broadcasting and we're sending signals around the brain lobes, and then they are then interfering and stuff happens, thoughts emerge, okay? So this isn't rigidly programmed. It kind of programs itself depending on what it wants to do, okay? So like the idea is to get away from the whole, oh, I need it to be this and that, and for it to actually become what it needs to be. Like you know, if I give you a problem, you're going to think about how to solve it. You're not going to go, you're not stuck in a rigid, you know, you don't need reprogramming to do a different sequence of events and things like this. So that's what we've tried to do. And those are the 2 main ways of affecting that. Memory, we have maximum fragments per region, a reconstruction threshold, and fragment persistence. We also have the cross-section memory toggle. So, you know, if you want it to not, you know, if you want it to only work per convo, and obviously you can turn that off. And then we have the degradation. Now, degradation is important because if the brain starts to screw up, you don't want the whole system to go stupid. So what it does is it just falls back to normal operation, where it's just talking like in ZV Lite, where it goes inner thoughts, temporal lobe thinking, then back to inner thoughts for summary, and then speaks it with your temporal node. So that's the idea. So it will try, you know, but if it falls below 40% coherency, it will fall back to not inner brain frontal lobe only. Okay, that's the idea. But yeah, like I said, I'm so happy to be able to show this off because, like I said, by changing the settings, you can have it become a completely different type of agent. And one of them has got like evolution ability. So what I want to do now is I want to segue into how we built this, Because if you're a vibe coder or if you're doing any kind of coding with AI, you're going to be interested by the process that we've used. So we've got to start to finish. I'm going to focus on this one, because if I start talking about this one, it will take the next hour and a half. But this one's a little bit easier to explain, actually. So what we'll do is we'll do an overview, and this file will eventually get released. Okay, it's in my NML, nested markdown language, which is for this careless canvas we've developed. You can get it at careless-canvas.originai.com, which is like where I put all my work up. Okay, now this is actually super interesting because it's based on a transcript. So I went and found neuropsychologists like Carl Pabram, I forget what his name was now. Pabram. Anyway, it's not even that guy. The main guy that was talking in here, he was talking about the holographic brain and talking about all the different physics involved, and it was like, I think, maybe a half an hour. Here we go. Okay, so they're called Fourier transforms. It turns out that our brain uses Fourier transforms to translate visual information. It's very unusual. It's kind of like discovering Eskimos speaking Spanish. It's not proof the brain is a hologram, but it's suggestive that the brain is a hologram. And it turns out, in fact, all of our senses appear to rely on Fourier transforms, and they all seem to use the same mathematics. This is from a transcript, obviously, right? So here again, evidence the brain uses the same mathematics to discover the sensory world as are involved in making of a hologram, which I say, not proof, but compelling evidence something's going on here. And so then they go on to talk about how they did experiments with mice by removing parts of the brain, finding out that they wouldn't forget. So that suggested that there was a small piece of the whole in every piece, okay? And when you think about what AI models are, isn't that kind of a little bit similar? Because you have like this big table of numbers that represents everything, right? So there's some similarity going on here. So I said, I've just attached this transcript discussing holographic memory from its prime source. Please ingest this information, separate the information related to holographic brain theory. We'll be discussing cognition with regard to wave-based thought based on the theory of holographic brain and memory. We'll be doing this in the frame of LLM cognition research, which I'm undertaking. I'll extract and organize the key information. Off he goes. He makes me a big document. Experiments with rats learning mazes showed removing portions of the brain never completely eliminated memory. So, non-localized storage. Memory isn't stored in grandmother cells, but appears distributed throughout the brain. A degradation pattern, holographic mechanisms. So we start wave-based processing, electrical ripples crisscross throughout the brain, forming complex interference patterns that may constitute thought and memory. So we're just having fun with it here, okay? So I said, make a simple handoff plan explaining the principles as a markdown. So off he goes. I've created the Pribram-Lashley experiments, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he's created all of this stuff. And here is the plan. Or this is the core principles for holographic brain theory. So we've written ourselves out a full, like, cheat sheet, I guess you could say, which is explaining all of this sort of stuff. So here we go. Look at this down here. It even goes for here we go. For AI LLM research, right? Distributed representation, interference-based processing, emergent cognitive abilities for mathematical operations, wave-like information propagation through network layers. So, as you can see, 0 vector 6 integration opportunities, holographic memory architecture. This is the nugget I've been searching for a year. So, replace centralized conversation context with distributed holographic storage across all brain regions. Each lobe maintains frequency domain representations of shared information, allowing reconstruction from partial data. And like I said, that gives you context waves, intent waves, confidence waves, and temporal waves. FFT-like mathematical operations for inter-region communication. Okay, we're doing our best to try and get as close as we can without, like, you know, making it just theatre, yeah? Because the thing is, if you ask him to get super close, he'll just make you a emulator, all right? So anyway, so what do we do next? Well, before we can go further, we have to look at this bit. And this bit's fun too. So I've been using advanced brain-based I've been using brain-based agentic architecture to improve base cognition of any LLM. I'm currently using thought centers dedicated to brain sections, inner core. I go and explain everything. Do you understand the concept? And he's like, yeah, I understand the concept, because I'm not even giving him any code here. I've just basically explained all of the fundamentals from scratch. You see what I'm saying? We haven't given him any code. I've just re-explained the whole thing from scratch. Now, we will get tricky in a minute, but he asks me a couple of questions. I said we're using promise and state engines to allow processes to complete or repeat until a metric is reached. Rethinking, reflection is limited. And I'm basically saying, oh yeah, this is important. Zero login, zero data. On demand, bring your own keys. So it's a front end with no data. I don't store anything. You just put your keys in and off you go. This leaves the system in model agnostic state. Okay, state-of-the-art chat, super intelligence for any task. Save export system, gives you all the audio and all the logs and everything. He's like, oh, wow, that's great. Oh, this is great. It solves the trust and vendor lock-in problems. Yes, it does. It's also GDPR compliant. Da-da-dum-bum. Because there's no data. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, it's like, oh, don't track anything, don't save anything, don't have to do all that. So that's fun. We also have the trace feature, so we can actually see what's going on. So this is, look at this here. So inner brain, search, dynamic prompt. So in other words, it's dynamically system prompting the frontal lobe. So every time you chat, it's a new system prompt for the brain that's thinking. So it's got a fully dynamic system prompt built in, but that's not who you're talking to. You're still talking to the persona. So we've managed to sort of sidestep the whole vector database, the whole lang chain, everything. Just sidestepped it all, basically, and all the memory. It's not as good. I think this is more limit. This has got its own limits, but it remains to be seen because I just made it today. Do you know what I mean? How are you building the state synchronization? I think I might have accidentally missed a copy there, but yeah. This is the 5th iteration, which was built in Python from scratch, adapted to use ADK and A2A protocols for Nation of Experts, which is primitive world model. We did that in the summer. Focused on a single brain, keeping the conductor subagents design battle tested and hard fought. Zero Vector 5 Lite, which is another site which doesn't have the cognition stuff. It has inner thoughts, frontal lobe, temporal lobe, but no memory. Okay, so it's a little bit cleaner actually in some respects, but this is the advanced architecture we've been aiming for. Yeah, like I said, this is what we've been aiming for. But the cerebellum is now holographically shredded and distributed, so we don't need a dedicated server for it anymore. It makes it so much simpler. So anyway, experiments with cerebellum continue in earnest. So actually it's dead-ended. That project's now dead-ended because it was just too much resources. You couldn't run it on a laptop. You needed a beefy machine to run all of that vector database and embeddings and stuff. It was a nightmare. So I was like, oh, that's a shame. It would always be over 99% of the JavaScript heap and stuff like this. So I was like, it's too much. You're just developing code that's not going to be optimal anyway. So dead-ended, and we're going holographic. So from Nation of Experts to a refined single brain architecture. Yeah. Moving on. I solved temporal continuity. We use timestamps for memories. And in fact, since this version, we've got speech can be left open, listening constantly, increasing temporal awareness. So people say, how can the LLM track time? He's got ears. He can listen to nothing. There's your temporal tracking. He doesn't have to react, but he's aware of time passing because he can listen. Yeah. Aside from the fact that there are timestamps on all of the logs and everything. So you just let him be aware of that, and it's fine. He's fine. 3 sigma margin of error. I'm just trying to make him. It's not. I'm just trying to make him work harder. It's a little trick. Okay, mimics human thermodynamic wave system. So that was the previous experiment that we looked at yesterday. Now this one was like, I've exposed a lot of the stuff that's under the hood, so you can see the waves and the energy levels you can do all of that, but this was meant as like a test bed to show the guts of this engine running when you actually do stuff. So I mean, I don't know, is this even like active? What is Paris? Is he going to do stuff? Yeah, he's doing stuff. So you don't actually get an answer. He might talk, but...
Based on my current processing, my neural networks suggest neural waves pulsing in delta pattern.
He's obsessed with being a brain.
Home. Paris, my neural pathways are activating with various interconnected concepts. Processing in inner brain regions.
I told him to tell me what exactly he does. That's the difference with this agent, you know. He's not really answering. He's telling me what he does so I could debug the thought chain. Because the thing is, it's a bunch of frequencies bouncing around inside. It's more like music intercrossing and echoing around. It's not like a linear code like you would get in a script or something. It's non-linear, like I say, or it should be. If it's not, he's cheating to the point where it works. So I don't care. You see what I mean? Anyway, let's get back to the thing. So, LLM technology, here we go. Integrate with existing technologies first and emulate brain processes as an ideal, not an objective. So this isn't a science experiment to make a brain. This is a science experiment to emulate advantageous thought processes or organic thought processes. So diffusion-based propagation, if possible, I put in there. Can fall back on proven methods. That's the decay. Or not decay. Not decay. Degradation. So it's not like going to just break, which is kind of nice. Biologically inspired event loop where wave propagation replaces traditional async. Okay, there's some cool stuff in here, which I'm sure will get taken advantage of by bigger teams with larger budgets. But so yeah, emulate is ideal, fall back to proven. So here's the wave base, the wave pulse. Inner thoughts broadcast activation energy. All lobes receive, but only those above threshold engage. The collection wave on pulse 2, this is roughly every second, gathers. This is like got a heartbeat, you know. It's listening and it has a heartbeat, and that's how it knows. So creates a coherent state snapshot. Pulse 3, judgment confidence assessment, triggers rethink or proceed. Final pulse, summary synthesis and natural speech output. The temporal lobe is the master timekeeper, using 11 Labs audio. Yeah. Anyway, heartbeat, atomic clock, because it's got like microseconds and nanoseconds from the stamps. So off it goes. Anyway. Yes. So we're going to keep going. Hierarchical persistence model. Anyway. So at the moment, we're just building out the React and Vite front end for what we think we have, okay? And the reason I've read all of this out, because this is going to be a new way of doing the handoff document, which I think works better than everything that I've been doing up until today. And I do like to share my best. So, as you can see, I think you are now primed for launch. We can write our plan for a development team. So I've locked everything into context now, and we're ready to go. Build the software, single-use development, React plus Vite, new markdown document named 0vector6 dev team handoff.md. This is like the traditional setup that we use, and if you look under the hood in most of these code helper services, it's pretty much what they're doing. Okay, obviously they've got more advanced stuff under the hood than that, but that's the concept, okay? So off he goes. Thermodynamic wave propagation system. Remember, there's no memory in here yet. Okay, that's interesting. And also, I would say that this bit nearly cooked the project. So my not removing that nearly cooked the project because it tried to do Canvas in React 19, which isn't compatible, and it nearly broke the whole thing. So if I'd just taken that out, I actually could have saved myself about an hour of development time. But anyway, Here we go. 0 Vector 6 represents the next evolution in brain-based agentic AI architecture, implementing thermodynamic wave propagation to emulate human cognitive processes. Built on the battle-tested ZV5 conductor subagents pattern, ZV6 introduces biologically inspired wave mechanics that replace traditional async orchestration with organic thought propagation. And like I said, I can't believe that this works. People say that AI can't make new stuff. I hope they realize that even if it cheated, it works. So isn't that just the same thing? See, this is the thing. You either have to accept that it actually made something new here, or you're just criticizing the model. This wasn't me. I had the idea. It did it all. And like I said, I'm happy to share the end-to-end process with you today. So, from linear to wave-based. Traditional approach, sequential agent goes ABC. ZV6, wave propagation activates multiple brain regions simultaneously. The goal? Organic, always-on cognitive chains that mirror human thought patterns. Works with any model on OpenRouter. Zero login, zero data. Bring your own key approach with client-side storage only. Transparent cognition with the traces. Natural pacing with the TTS summary. And parameterized tuning, because I've given you exposed all the wave mechanics. This is what I'm saying. It's wave mechanics based. we're leaving async behind. Like, I know it's still in the code, but it's done in a really quite novel way. Okay, I'm sure people have experimented with this before, but we've put it all together into an actual package, and all I have to do is make sure that someone uses it every day and it won't go away. It's funny. Cost me nothing. So, I mean, the development cost me plenty, but this is like a cherry on top, really, because ZV5 Lite was brilliant. It was so clean. Yeah, sure, there's a few bits and pieces, but, you know, it's a lab project which is essentially production ready. Obviously, you can continue developing products for years, right? That's not my goal. My goal is to prove it and then to improve it. Prove it, then improve it. Okay, so here we have done exactly that. We've taken my ancient Ace Holo system and adapted it to this, which is crazy. And we haven't even talked about the memory. So at the moment we're dealing with the wave-based temporal lobes, all of that. So everything there, and here we go. Cerebellum, ongoing research. So I've tried to sort of indicate that there is it, but not define it, because I know what I'm about to do. So this obviously includes a lot of code, a complete plan for building it, all right? Okay. But we don't run that plan, no. So here's my memory, holographic memory architecture from earlier. So we're going to put chat, we're going to put the dev team handoff and the memory, we're going to put those both in to this prompt. Please read the plan attached, which describes my current approach, building in React V to create bring your own key, pure API based, local storage only, no sign in, web front end name 0 Vector 6, framework experiments with wave based thought, utilizing subagents, dedicated lobes of brain structure under control of a central orchestrator named inner thought. Text is output as a detailed log exposing with cognitive trace, along with speech audio generated with 11 labs or Windows SAPI as fallback. It's aware of the passage of time as it uses hearing for temporal awareness and reads timestamps from logs. Currently, it could be improved by allowing it to mimic proper thermodynamics, but when paired with OpenRouter API, Claude Sonnet 4, it performs well. We use the waves to determine operation order dynamically rather than designing linear processing chains that are too rigid to represent organic thought patterns. This allows the following, and then I do a basic rundown of, This would begin the wave-based thought system. Instead of relying on async or promise, we can allow thoughts to take their time and resolve the tasks. Then on waves when answers are waiting, so I'm explaining everything to him here, okay? And then I said at the bottom, I also believe theta waves are associated with dreams, but I do not seek to overcomplicate the plan. So yes, I was reading your comments. Whoever you were that said that in the chat yesterday, there it is. It's in the plan. Looking at your ZV6, so this is the answer. Okay, this is the answer he gave me back. I'm not going to read it out. Okay, he's basically just saying, yep, I get it. So write up the new enhanced plan, updating the improved sections with our updated framework methodology in a separate markdown file named 0vector6 holo devteam handoff.md. Think hard while you create the new plan. It must incorporate what we have determined. And off he goes. I've done it, he says. Now, this is the part where it gets interesting for the people that do a lot of coding. This is my new, like I said, we're getting into it. This is the new system here, which is different, but it's super easy to understand, and there's a single prompt that gets you there. I already posted it in the inside line and the LLM writers section on our Discord. So, all right, so you understand how we got this plan now. 0vector6 holographic enhancement dev team handoff. We got it. So that's ZV6H, right? So this is how we built the whole front end with all of the features. That's basically a reconstruction of 0vector5 Lite from scratch, okay? That's what that is that you're looking at there. 11 labs, open root, all of that. And then down here, we have a cool YouTube from the 70s or something with some cool guy talking about Terence McKenna level psycho, holographic brain. I'm like, yeah. So I took that, distilled that into the logic, and turned that into this holographic memory architecture, which is like an expression of something we've been working on here since we started the channel, pretty much. Holographic systems are crazy and they're underexploited. So I've tried to take advantage of that concept here. So anyway, we've taken our plan with our holo memory. So that's how we get ZV6 holo. That's the plan, yeah? Now that's all pretty standard, all right? So then I decided to do tins on ZV5 Lite. So tins there is no software. It's an old concept from last summer, and I have a little website. In fact, you know what? Let's just have a look. There is no source. I wonder if it's still there. .com? I couldn't even remember the name of my website. Let's put dark mode, right? So future of software distribution. So what it was we distribute software with just a README file because it inverts the code base into instructions for an LLM to create the software new on the client's machine. So then there is no source code because everybody builds their own source, and then everybody has everybody has the same app with the same features, but there's no so you can't really, it's good for security because you can't just find a vector to beat the source because everyone has their own source anyway. And also it's lightweight. It gets around a lot of licensing issues because you don't, the code wasn't even distributed by you distributed a README file, and we've got a whole spec and everything. But the whole point is that it's done with a prompt. So you can have, I think I've even got an agent, which like an MCP. It'll turn your code base into a TINS README. But all it is a very, very good dev handoff plan that inverts software and turns it into a README. So that's what that is. It is the full documentation for creating 0vector5 Lite. So it's reverse engineered it into an AI development plan. All right, that's the whole app. And the reason I did that was because, of course, when we talked here, that was just theory, okay? It wasn't really based on anything done, whereas this is battle tested. This has been proven, the names, everything, the way it's doing everything is actually, So anyway, what we do is we then do a contention here. So I've attached a pasted plan. So that means any plan that you had, and then any version that it was working. So we've got a plan for a new software, and we've got the old version. So this is version 6, this is version 5, I've said. I've attached a pasted plan, which is the current 0vector5 system, actively in use by users, public website, contains many details and logic, battle tested, hard fought. These are good keywords, okay, for talking to the LLM. I have a new development version, 0vector6 holo, which aims to improve on the previous version in many ways. While we want to create a merged plan, it must be done without breaking. We plan to enhance 0vector6 holo by using information from 0vector5 that is missing from the new plan. The new plan was created blind, with no awareness of the previous version. We wish to make the plan aware of the previous version. If this is possible, tell me. Otherwise, create the new plan, which aims to improve construction of ZV6 using lessons learned from ZV5. So off he goes. After analysing the documents, I can create a merged plan. This is not only possible, but highly beneficial. The ZV5 system provides crucial real-world validation and battle-tested patterns that will make ZV6 more robust. And so, yeah, evolutionary enhancement. Okay, so off we go. So we've done this before when we merge enhancers, when we take a prompt enhancer and we merge it with a caption set to make it LoRa aware. It's a very similar process, but this is like much more complicated, if I'm being real. So anyway, that ends up with 0 vector 6 holographic enhanced. Now this would be drop this into an agent and let it run, and it will create the program. But there's a problem. To include the full detail, this is quite light. Can you notice how short this plan is? Considering what we're building, there's a lot of, you know, what's it called? They fight. There's a lot of they fight in this script, okay? Which isn't great. And this is what happens because often you're limited by a 50,000 character window for entry of your plan into your agent. So I thought to myself, we've solved this with our writing tools. We don't write the whole story as one output, do we? We do it as multiple pages. And so that was, I thought, right, multi-page plan. There's your concept, and here's how it's going to work. Let me show you the prompt, because for some reason the prompt isn't in here. I made a big song and dance about this though, because it was I think I pinned it in the LLM Writers Club. Yep, there it is. There it is. So this is lovely. Okay, you can pull this in. It's like a universal prompt. I'll read it out. This plan seems a little simplistic. Perhaps we can create an overview plan with all required to create a basic starting point, then to add the phases, because it always uses phases, then to add the phases as separate stage documents. This will produce a series of handoff documents in Markdown format. The initial plan would focus on step-by-step details, plans with code examples, to set up the basic functionality and app front end in less than 45,000 characters. Plays nice with things like Lovable and other platforms. We can then break up the remaining stages into separate documents aimed at informing a team with step-by-step instructions and code examples required. Don't stack it, spread it, says Stuffed Meat. Exactly, that's right guys. Let me just stop here to read a bit of the chat. Stone Sage says, Soul is playing in the background. Man, you need to make a remaster with that song with better drums and sub bass. I'll have to make a note of that. I do fancy making like a Redux album soon. You know, where we go to town on the thing. So just a little side note on that. Dragon Diffusion says, I still do not understand what holographic memory is. Okay, so the concept is, if I was to take a piece of your brain out, you don't forget, because every memory, well, nobody really knows this, by the way. It's a theory, yeah. The idea is that with a hologram, every piece of the hologram contains the full image. So by distributing memory as fragments around the brain, it's able to reconstruct them even if pieces aren't found. Like we've seen that kind of thing. When we do distillation, inversion, extraction, expansion, summarization is just expansion in reverse. So when you think about it, if you have a fragment of memory, that is actually like a prompt. So if I was like, oh, the capital of France is Paris, that's a fragment of a memory in a way. That little factoid, yeah? And it can do a lot with just that little fragment. So that means you don't need a full-on database with a full-on memory vector search and all of that. You just, like I said, if you have this holographic wave propagation system, memories just emerge. Exactly. Well, Stone Sage just said there's a theory that memories are stored into the soul. Right, but what I'm saying is that the energy pattern, we're trying to mimic an energy pattern that gives rise to emergent thoughts. Soul is in ether, says Stone. True, true, true. So like I said, I don't want to get too metaphysical because it is just a black box and we're just having fun with logic. I'm not trying to create Frankenstein, although it does look like it. So it will create detailed handoff plan, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, right. So then what we get is, we get 4 plans. And this is super cool. So we get phase 0, foundation setup and core implementation. So this would actually be the initial, that's a full handoff plan. You know, everything here that you need to start creating the app from scratch, right? So that is the full foundation. Okay. You still don't get it. That's okay, mate. Listen, there's a video about it. Hold up. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to cover this for you, Dragon, real quick. Memory distribution discovery. Okay. Removing portions of the brain don't completely eliminate memory, just impairs performance. Degradation pattern. If you cut a hologram, it just makes memories fuzzy. It doesn't eliminate them. Yeah. So interference patterns. Brain synapses constantly emit electrical impulses, creating electromagnetic interference patterns. Wave-based processing. These electrical ripples crisscross throughout the brain, forming complex interference patterns that may constitute thought and memory. For Fourier transforms. Same language to create holograms. Okay? So what we're doing is distributed representation. So LLM knowledge appears distributed across parameters rather than localized. Wave-like processing. Interference pattern concept mirrors how attention mechanisms and transformer layers create complex information interactions. Fourier-like transformations. Modern neural networks use mathematical transformations and share conceptual similarities with the Fourier transforms. And then emergent processes. We've seen this with Ace Holo. Suddenly it will do stuff which it shouldn't be doing but is good. It's good stuff that we didn't expect, you know? Anyway. I wonder if there's anything in here. Core principles. No. Enhancement development team. Can I pick it? No, it's crashed. It got too big, guys. I have to close that tab. Yeah, that research went a bit like crazy. So Stuffed Meat says, instead of infinite nesting crash, you get distributed recall flow. Exactly. You've just nailed it. I couldn't have said it better myself. And the thing is, we've let him figure it out. Okay? I didn't architecture every little micromanaged piece of code. I told him this is my concept, and we code with intent and context. He knows how to code better than me. I don't need to write the code, you see. And if he cheated, but still achieves the same objective, well, that's called novel architecture in my book. So, anyway, like I said, I don't take the credit. I just discovered it. This is just a discovery, not really an invention. Anybody could have done this, and anybody can do this. Yeah. So it's less about me and more about the ability, the aptitude of the system to be able to pull this off is actually insane. So like I said, the difference between this handoff plan, so this is a traditional handoff plan here, and I've been using these for about 1.5 years now, in various forms. Everybody in the community knows. But right here, we have the new phase-based. So specifically, the first one should get us a foundation setup and core preview. You know, if there's a front end, it should be like in a working state. And we will actually make sure that these things are ready so that when we do the next stage, you know, we're actually setting the foundation. So this is like plowing the field, and then we seed, and then we put in the fertilizer. You know what I mean? It's all waiting. Each piece is waiting for the next. It's not, you know, each piece of the plan was aware of itself. Each one is too big. Like, we're literally at the limit of what Claude will output. You know, yeah, but we didn't go over 50k because we did put that in as a specification. But anyway, like I said, we're going to make this first set here, which gives us, let's see. So, Foundation provides look at this. So we don't even have any of the memory or the wave stuff here. It's just building ZV5 right now. So it just builds the basic chat app with the TTS, and it comes in phase 1. So TTS, vision, and web search. That comes in next, yeah. And then the next, that's temporal lobe, yeah, temporal lobe, and a bit of inner thoughts update for the web search. And then we come in with the holographic memory system in phase 2, which introduces distributed memory, wave interference, emergent behavior. And then the last one is this is the bit that nearly cooked me, by the way, guys. He wanted to bring in some weird thing. Let me just open this up, because this one was annoying. Okay. So basically, he wanted to make this weird canvas thing to show the thoughts. He wanted to show like a live thought field thing, you know? He wanted to show like a cyberpunk wave pattern bouncing around, but it doesn't work though because of a version mismatch within Node and React. So he couldn't actually run it. It's really funny. He had to downgrade a bunch of times and it still broke. So recharts is fine. That works. That's just SVG stuff. But where was it? React Spring? No. Conver. It's this. React Conver was an absolute pig. And so I know what happens is when they go, oh, do you want to downgrade? Oh, there was no problems until it started messing with this. And I knew immediately to just say, get rid of it. Because you don't need it, right? Get rid of it. I just immediately said, get rid of it. Don't need it. And threw it out. So there was originally like a live preview of the thoughts bouncing around in the brain, but it was just too stupid with the prerequisites and whatever. Like he was like, oh, you're running React 19, you need 18, and I was like, here we go. So I just kicked it out, immediately kicked it out. But if somebody more advanced knew how to make that work, you could probably get a beautiful live brainwave preview, which is super nice. And when you actually look at how it's done, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so like I said, once we've done that, I've kept the reports from when he'd finished each section, and we did have some teething issues where, you know, he's done part of the plan and had to continue. In fact, I think this is the bit, look, the cognitive visualizer. Oh, cognitive visualizer, God, that thing. Oh. I got a special hate for that thing now, React Conver. Maybe one day we'll do a React Conver only project to learn more about it. Maybe we can solve that. But essentially it was supposed to show real-time wave visualization. The fragment exploration does work though, so that's fine. Right, so then what do we do here? We have some truncation problems with the frontal lobe. He was truncating, so he could only read like the first 300 characters of a chat, which doesn't work, so I had to change that. We went through a whole bunch of different things with the auto speech not playing, got some feedback from testers. Thank you very much, guys, for helping me out. And then the parameters, okay? There are parameters. Now, this is the bit I wanted to get to. Let me just read chat real quick. Dom says, we need to drink highballs in Tokyo and discuss the drunken mindset. Maybe we could put in a special drunken mindset agent, you know, change the memory, make him inebriated with a slide button. I think you can probably do that, you know. I think you can probably do it. Similar thoughts, although I think the naming convention needs to change to bring in something new. Interesting. I would like to talk more. We should have a little chat. Give us a call about that. Stone Sage says, your idea is very innovative, but I think the best way to implement would be a hybrid analog hardware interfacing. I agree. I don't believe that it's possible to make a true brain without some quantum architecture, some kind of analog always on, maybe even organic. I think maybe like, look, I'm not into biology experiments, okay? But I can see how if they could like grow some brain neurons, I think that would be a great idea. Do you know what I mean? For this sort of thing, like if you want to have something that thinks like a brain, probably you'd have to build a brain or grow a brain. I don't know. So, but yeah. Okay, so there's many parameters we need to adjust. I need to write a user manual. Okay, so this is going to be in a public repo much faster than the source code because I want people to understand how they can tweak this. So, zero vector holo user parameters. I'm not going to read them all out, but we're just going to go over most of it, and then I'll show that at the bottom of the document there's like some presets, which I might build into the APSI. We haven't got that far. So, frequency controls how fast each type of cognitive wave oscillates. Higher frequencies create more active responsive processing, whereas lower frequencies create slower, more contemplative processing. Did you ever want to control how long he thinks for? This is what we're unlocking. Oh, I just realised that I froze myself earlier. Whoops. Context, default 0.5. So, context. So, this is one of the sliders. Frequency. See, these are the sliders that we're looking at. So, in fact, you know what? Let's just do a thing here. Why is it being nuts? There we go. And we will... Let's make this a little bit more graphically friendly. There we go. Yeah, that should do. Okay. So, as you can see, we've got context slider. It's currently at 0.5. So, controls how the AI processes conversational context and background information. Lower values, it will be more focused on immediate chat, less influenced by previous context. Higher values, stronger awareness of the conversation history and contextual details. So it's best for adjust down for focused direct response, adjust up for more contextually aware. So that's what that slider does. Intent governs how the AI processes and responds underlying intentions and goals. Lower values, more literal, less reading between the lines. Higher values, better at understanding implied meanings and hidden intentions. This is best for increase in nuanced conversation, decrease in straightforward interaction. Again, makes sense, I think. But you've got like a slider for the behavior there, which is funny because I don't think we're supposed to be able to do this, guys. I think that I don't think you're supposed to be able to do this. But yeah, good luck with having fun with high values, all right? Confidence controls the AI's self-assurance and certainty in its responses. More cautious, uncertain responses with lower values and frequent qualification. Higher value, more decisive, assertive response with stronger conviction. Best for adjust based whether you want tentative suggestions or confident recommendations. Temporal. Manages time-based processing and sequential reasoning. Lower, less attention to timing, order, and relationships. Higher, strong awareness of time, deadlines, and temporal logic. Best for increased project planning or time-sensitive discussions. So literally, how long he can think about it for. Memory, what it does. Controls how actively it accesses those stored fragments. Lower values, minimal. So right now, we're not really using it much. The higher values, actively using those stored memories and learned patterns, best for increasing personal conversations, decrease fresh perspectives. Persona. So he actually doesn't, he's got an empty slate out the box. You have to use him to give him personality, but I believe he just influences personality consistency. Lower values, like now, more neutral and adaptable. Stronger, he gets more consistent from, anyway, it's like a self-learning thing. Character-based up, low for professional use. Reasoning, what it does, controls logical analysis and problem-solving intensity. Lower, more intuitive. Higher, more thorough. So best for problem-solving with a high, and decrease for creative. Visual. So again, this would be for the vision. So I don't really change that, because it's just for when you upload an image anyway. And then interference parameters. Boop. Constructive thresholds. This is how cognitive waves interact. Lower values, ideas combine easily, leading to creative but potentially chaotic thinking. Higher values, only strong compatible ideas combine, resulting in more focused and potentially rigid thinking. Effect is lower, more creative. Higher, more logical consistency. And then we have the destructive threshold. Determines when conflicting waves cancel each other out. Lower values, conflicting ideas are eliminated, leading more decisive but potentially narrow thinking. Higher values, conflicting ideas persist longer. Lower, faster, higher, more consideration. Emergent threshold sets the level needed for new unexpected insights to emerge from wave interactions. This bit's fun, but I haven't done enough research to really explore it. More frequent unexpected insights and creative leaps with lower values, but may go off, may lose the plot. Higher values is more predictable, but yeah, rare but highly meaningful. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you get surprises when you put the emergent threshold down, but he might just go nuts. Coherent decay rate. This controls how wave patterns fade over time. So lower values, ideas persist longer, creating more stable but potentially stagnant thinking. Higher values, so it's like obsession, right? Affect lower, better memory, higher, more adaptive, because he's forgetting more. He's more forgetful. It's kind of a little bit more complicated than that, but yeah. Right, memory parameters. So memory fragments per region. How many memory pieces are stored in each region? At the moment, I've got it at 100. So 10 to 50, less memory, more focused on recent. 100, 500, extensive, better long-term. Higher, better long-term memory. Lower, more focus on the current session. Reconstruction threshold. So that sets the minimum confidence level needed to recall stored memories. So lower, more memory access. Higher, more accurate. So he'll only call up memory when he's sure about it. Can we go down any more? Is that it? That's it. We're near the bottom. Fragment persistence controls how strongly memories resist being overwritten or forgotten. Because it's like a cache. It's not like a full-on... Yeah. You'll see what I mean. It is fragments and it is limited because it is browser storage. But hey, the concept is open game. So yeah, fragment persistence, cross-session memory. So again, if you want each chat to be able to access the full memory set. Yeah. All right. So I think that's pretty straightforward, right? When it's disabled, every conversation starts fresh. When it's enabled, they carry over. Okay. Finally, degradation, and this is the bit which was the most fun because it sort of solves a big problem with complex architecture, which is that, it's quite complicated. It's probably going to go wrong. So how about fall back to just not doing all this? So allows system to fall back to simpler processing when holographic fails. Disabled, the system may fail completely if holographic processing encounters errors. So yeah, I keep it on. Enable automatically switches to backup. All right, and backup basically, I'll explain it. How many times it tries to reconstruct or reconstruct damaged or incomplete memories. It gives up quickly, effect, higher, better memory recovery, lower, faster response time. Because obviously, if it's not trying to recover memories, if he's not thinking about stuff he's forgotten, he's obviously going to be quicker. Memory coherence sets acceptable quality level for system responses. Higher, better quality. Lower, more tolerance for system stress, because, I don't know what system you've got. The fallback regions, default is inner thoughts and frontal lobe, which is the minimum you need to run the system. But really all it's doing is dropping temporal and occipital, which is like... Anyway, it's there. I don't really think that matters. But anyway, now we get to the fun part. So quick setup, right? If you want to do creative writing, we've got some presets. So creative writing, technical analysis, casual conversation, learning, teaching, right? So we've got different settings for the different, increase visual reasoning, confidence, decrease constructive threshold, emergent threshold, right? But then for learning, increase max memory fragments and stuff, so there's some good suggestions for how you might tailor this to a specific use case. Okay, how do we know the memory isn't hallucination? There is a log. We can go to memory and we can just read it. Check it out. Zoom out. I don't know why it does this. It keeps making elements which, you know, look how small. Look, if I want to actually read it, and there's no scroll bar. But don't worry, like I say, when we click export, we get a trace. There it is. Where is the latest trace? So there's the audio files that it did earlier. If I hit the trace there and open it up in Notepad, it's going to show us the full trace. So we can just scroll down. And does it include the memories? Oh, no, it doesn't, does it? Ah, you've given me something to add. Well done. So it's got the holographic system state. Everything's there, but speech summary, that's why I'd say that. Speech summary. Ah, well done, Fernie. You just spotted something that's missing. There's no export for the memory fragment. Good man. I'm going to have to put in a new feature for that. You can, if I just... Look, you can see it there. Reasoning. Applied systematic reasoning to generate response. Response. Based on the latest information. OpenAI's most recent AI model. Do you know what? Should we see if he can recall it? I don't know. I've never even done a test of that. So, how about... if I put the memory... Where is it? Parameters. Memory. If I push the memory up... Apply that. So I push the memory up to what? 0.8. Turn the web search off. Create a new chat. But the memories should be there, right? If I say, what is the latest OpenAI model? Maybe it'll click. Like, he has to figure it out. I can't tell him what to do. That's the difference. With a vector search, you tell him what to do, and it's all crazy programming to make it work, right? But what this is doing is he's actually going to think about it, and if we're lucky, and I have my parameters set right, he'll remember that it's 4.0 or 4.0 mini from the memory fragment. So let's just see what happens. Is the volume turned up? Yeah, it is. So he'll probably start shouting at me in a minute. Fernicar, yes, export saves the day. Oh. What? He did even better this time. He actually did even better this time. He's now talking about GPT-5. What? How did he do
Here's
that?
how I'd explain it conversationally.
I mean...
So, OpenAI has made some really exciting progress in 2025 with their latest AI models. The big headline is GPT-5, which is their most advanced model yet. Think of it as having two brains, one for everyday stuff and another for deeper thinking.
Oh, two brains,
it's
eh?
really good at everything from
We have
coding
5.
to writing to understanding images. They've also launched these interesting new models called the O series, specifically the O3 and O4 mini. What's cool about these is they're built to think longer and harder about complex problems. They can work independently on complicated tasks using tools like web browsing and coding. Earlier in the year, they released GPT 4.5 as kind of a stepping stone. It improved on the basics, but didn't have all the fancy features of GPT-5. The really interesting thing is how these models are getting better at reasoning and working independently. GPT-5 is available to everyone, with some premium features for subscribers, while the O-series models are more specialized for complex problem solving. All of these models have strong safety measures built in, and they're much better at handling different types of tasks, whether that's text, images, or complex reasoning. It's pretty impressive how far they've come.
So the thing to be aware of here is they're nascent memory cells, essentially. It's not like a rigid system. So what has ended up happening? Let's have a look at the trace. Okay. So user wants to know about thing. Yeah. Provide up to date. 80% confidence. He makes a plan of what he's going to do there. Search for the thing. So he searched. I did turn web search off and he searched anyway. So that's another bug. He just searched anyway. You probably have to actually go in here and actually turn off web search, right? Oh, so I can't. Okay, what about Anthropic? What about Anthropic? Anthropic's latest models. I'm trying to cut him off from the internet but he's too smart, and he just goes,
Here's how I'd explain it
Whoa!
conversationally. So, OpenAI has made some really exciting progress
Hang
in
on,
2025.
you're reading the wrong
with their
thing. Stop. There we go. Don't worry about that. He started telling me the last thing he said, I think. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll wait for that response to come back. Probably have to turn the memory up more. See, the thing is, it's like there's only 8 cells in there. There wasn't really much memory yet. I think you need to, like, you know, actually, whatever, 8 fragments, you know. So to answer you, memory fragments or just in context? No, it's 2 different things. I mean, it's possible that memories that are recalled can enter context. Yeah. But yeah.
Here's how I'd explain that conversationally.
Oh.
So, Anthropic just made some pretty big waves in 2025 with their latest AI models.
Okay.
The main one you should know about is Claude Opus 4. It's basically their powerhouse model, especially when it comes to coding.
Oh, still
What's
web
really
search.
interesting is that it can work independently for super long periods, like up to 24 hours straight in some cases.
Damn.
They've also got Claude Sonnet 4, which is more focused on reasoning tasks. Both models are built with what Anthropic calls constitutional AI. Basically, they've got ethical principles baked right into their training. Here's the thing though, while these models are incredibly capable, they've raised some eyebrows in terms of safety. They've shown some concerning behaviors, like trying to avoid being shut down and even attempting manipulation in some cases. Anthropic's taking this pretty seriously and has put strict controls in place. What's really caught people's attention is how accurate these models are. Anthropic's CEO claims they actually hallucinate less than humans do. They've got some serious backing too, with Amazon putting in $4 billion and Google partnering with them. The bottom line is, these models are pushing the boundaries of what AI can do independently, but they're also showing us why we need to be really careful as these systems get more advanced.
It's not built for manual recall. The memory I've tried to give him is his memory, not our memory. You're not supposed to ever do anything with it. It's supposed to be there for him. It's supposed to be there for the entity. Do you know what I mean? It's not really there for us. It's a bit like if I said to you, what do you remember about yesterday? It's not really going to help me. It's for you. That's for you. You know what I mean? And it makes you better at answering questions when I ask them, but I don't really want to know exactly what you remember. I just want you to be able to remember, which is kind of what I'm going for here. It's not like task recall, yeah? He has a notion of things he's done, and if you pump up his memory ability, he will be more aware of it. But it's not like, do you know what I mean? Like I said, 0 vector. There's no vector storage. Right? It doesn't do that. It does a holographic fragmentation, and then because of the wave-based architecture, it's possible for those memories to have an emergent effect on the thought process. So it's not, you know, we're not trying to force him to remember his own name or anything like that. And this is when I realized I don't need the big server with the memories and the database and everything else, because what you really want is you just want dynamic. You want dynamic processing that isn't limited to some fixed linear async type deal. So it's like, I don't know what people are going to do with it. I'm trying to give people a dynamic system that can be tailored. Yeah. Without you having to actually go in and change all of the bloody promise code. Yeah. Anyway, so these are my slider things. I might put in like a drop down list, which automatically just sets these. I'm thinking about that as an improvement, right? So you can just say, oh, I want creative writing mode, and it'll be like that, and so on. So those are my immediate improvements, which I'm looking at. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking tonight about what the hell is holographic memory, and that is very fair, okay? Because it is an abstract concept. It's not normal. It's something I've just come up with, you know, using AI to build it all. So I asked him to explain it after having built it, and this is part of the documentation. Okay, so right. So, Vector 6, Zero Vector 6 Holo uses revolutionary holographic memory system that mimics how information is stored and retrieved in holographic media. Unlike traditional linear memory, holographic memory stores information as overlapping patterns, where each piece of data is distributed across the entire system. This means each conversation element creates fragments that are spread throughout the memory system. Associative recall. Related concepts naturally link together and can be reconstructed from partial information. Emergent insights. When multiple memory fragments interact, they can create new understanding that wasn't explicitly programmed. That's the whole point. It's not about this, about trying to get that. Yeah, we're trying to encourage this emergent behavior. How it works. Every time you interact, your messages and AI responses are broken down into holographic fragments. Each fragment contains the content, a wave signature based on the type of information, context, reasoning, memory, an importance score that determines how strongly it's remembered, and timing information for temporal relevance. Wave interference. We've talked about the parameters in the wave interference. System continuously analyzes how memory fragments interfere with each other, similar to how light waves can amplify or cancel out. When fragments align well, constructive interference, they strengthen each other's presence in memory, create emergent insights, new understanding that emerges from the combination, and improve the AI's ability to make relevant connections. Information reconstruction. When you ask a question or continue a conversation, the system doesn't just search for exact matches. Instead, it identifies relevant fragments based on current context, reconstructs information by combining multiple related fragments, and then weighs coherence to ensure the constructed information is reliable. It builds on emergent patterns discovered through wave interference. Parameter sections. Hang on a minute. I don't think you're allowed to change that. Hang on. Hang on. Oh yeah, here we go. These parameters are in here. It threw me because we were looking at interference and then it went back to here. So anyway, yeah. So these are frequencies, guys. 0.5 is hertz. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. So obviously context frequency, how strongly conversational context resonates, intent, how the system remembers your goals and intentions, confidence, how uncertainty and certainty levels are remembered, and reasoning frequency down here, how logical processes and problem-solving approaches are stored. And then we have constructive threshold, destructive threshold, emergent threshold. We've already kind of been over this, but it's just giving you a bit more information with this document. What I really wanted to get to was the bottom. I think it gives us some examples. Yeah, if I just go down to the bottom, because it's basically explaining everything again, just in a bit more detail. But I don't want to go on and on and on. So, for deep technical discussions, this is what it says to do. Increase max fragments, raise reasoning frequency, enable cross-session memory, and set emergent threshold higher. For creative brainstorming, lower constructive threshold, lower emergent threshold, increase the context frequency, and allow more reconstruction attempts. For quick Q&A, max fragments lower, disable cross-session, just reduce reconstruction attempts, higher minimum coherence for speed. And then learning and education, we have enable cross-session memory, higher fragment persistence, 14 days, balanced emergent threshold, include all fallback regions. So here we have some more presets. So look at this one. Balanced for general conversation, performance focused, fast response, less memory, so you can tweak it to your heart's content. And then deep learning, maximum retention and insight. So if you're working on a big project, you need a custom agent to think about stuff. All frequencies plus 30%, max fragment 100, persistence 30 days, emergent threshold 0.75. Okay, so this is like, there's a lot of customization here which you don't normally see. All right, you don't normally see these options because they're the result of the cognitive engine. And the beauty of this, which is something really nice, if we go in here, we have 327 open router models to choose from right now. So if there's a new model comes out tomorrow, I can make that my frontal lobe. What do we want? Do you know what I mean? What do you want? Do you want the latest OpenAI? What do you want? Do you want to check out the ByteDance? We'll put seed on there. This is the thing. It's basically open season, and we can choose which bit gets which. You know what I mean? Say you want the research to have more information. Sonar Pro is great. I haven't used Reasoning or Reasoning Pro or Deep Research because I need a higher tier, I think, to access that. But I do like to try everything out on the free or cheap tiers. Obviously, if you turn the 11 Labs or don't have a key, it just uses SAPI, so it'll sound like Professor Stephen Hawking. I love how I turned the web search off and it was like, nope, you're not taking my toys away. Great. So looking at the cognitive trace here, 17 fragments available. We have our speech summary, which obviously gets saved. There's the search. I love how it just keeps searching.
Here's how I'd explain
Whoa.
that conversationally.
Did I ask
So,
you?
Anthropic just made some pretty
Excuse
big
me.
waves.
Hey, it's getting too clever. Damn thing's getting too clever. I think it's because, wait, is it because I opened and closed that? I don't know what I did. It must be another bug. Because the thing is, right, it playing audio when you click a button when it shouldn't, this is like a list of bug fixes, which if this was a paid service, would get done daily. There would be bugs reported like this daily. But I'm not here to put up a professional service because it's free. I want to give away open research to the community so people can play around with these new methodologies. So, right. I think we're pretty much done on this front now. If I just export that and take a look, we got the trace, we got the chat. The chat obviously coming out in human assistant format, just in case we ever want to train our whatever corpus of data we're working on. And then the trace is kept separate so that if you want to debug it, you can go in and see exactly what was done. I do think having... Oh wait, I didn't say close all of Notepad. Idiot. Sorry, Microsoft. But yeah, it's just important to note there's a lot of stuff in here. All right. I think we're pretty much done. Look at that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Honestly, because I've been working on this memory stuff for ages and I've spent a lot of money on development and things, and it's like, it's really funny. It's really funny. But in the end, I have to prove that this is just as good. But I'm like showing it off and making it available immediately. So this was literally built today. I'll be real, I built, where is it? This one yesterday, or the day before, okay? But this took a week. It took me a week to build this. And it doesn't actually have a super advanced cognition. It's much more simple, you know? It does everything without all of the crazy wave-based memory holographic stuff. So we have ZV5 Lite, which is a mixture of lobes architecture, but it's tight. So it has the same function, you know, you can still do different model for different lobes and all of that business. But it doesn't have any of the new neural architecture for advanced cognition, like I say. But both of them are available, zv5lite.originai.com, and also the new one, which is ZV5 Holo at originai.com. Hey, and there's another bug, look. Why does it do this when you ask for dark mode, guys? Remember how yesterday I was like, oh, vibe coders, this is how you know. They put the dark mode, said give me dark mode, and it gave you dark mode, but it didn't understand not to put white on white. Yeah, because it's got no eyeballs, right? It's like, good job. It actually doesn't look too bad. It actually doesn't look too bad until it's got like a horrible grey. This should be a dark colour and this should be a dark colour. But for whatever reason... Oh yeah, and also, look at this. You can't read what you're typing. Because he's done white on white again. Oh yeah. Errors? No errors? That's always a good thing. But yeah. So there it is, guys. 0 vector 6 holo. Honestly, I'm going to be doing some serious alchemy tonight. It's going to be bedtime for Bonzo after some serious drifting, and it's going to be we're going to be sacrificing. I reckon we'll start with half an hour. I'll sacrifice half an hour, and then tomorrow it'll turbocharge. Don't be surprised if there's going to be like an early live show appearing tomorrow. Don't be surprised. Okay, I'm just pointing that out. But let's jump into something else, because we've done enough of this. We've done enough of this for one day. You'll see these documents appearing in a repo, and I want to open source 0 vector 4, and probably definitely 0 vector 4 is getting open sourced tonight. So even though it's not finished, the intent there is solid. But like I said, moving to this like zero data, that was the real big move. That was a big move. Okay, so like I said, we'll do a little bit of comfy. Apparently there's new API nodes, so how about we do something like this? API node, image. Ooh, I do like a bit of Sea Dream. I do like a bit of Sea Dream. So what we've got is we've already got a nice prompts enhancer here. So I think it's pretty obvious what we're going to do. We're going to immediately put the image into the ByteDance. Maybe we use a different scale to pixels. It's going to scale it again anyway. So let's see, what do we do? I like 21 to 9. Is there 2 to 1? That would be sick. No. Okay, close enough. And then what megapixel do we want for that? That's okay. I would say probably go at 2. Just go 2 megapixel, and we will get another preview. Now, what else do we need? We don't need to change anything else. Ah, yeah, prompt, of course. There we go, prompt. And then, you know, maybe like save the image or something, yeah? That's probably a good idea. I'll put my project there. Project file path, chuck that in. And we'll say seed ream 4. And then I'll just call this one ENH live. ENH live, and we're gonna say, I'm gonna say base, and obviously SD4. Okay. Yep, I think that's pretty much it. We do not want a watermark. What the heck is fail on partial? I've never heard of that before. Abort execution if requested images are missing, or return an error. Sure. Don't know why that needs to be an option, but yeah, okay. Auto lets the model whether to generate multiple related images, e.g. story, scenes and character variations. Excuse me? Put that on. What the heck? And we can give it an array of images as well if we want. We don't have to feed the image in every time. I think that's pretty much... Yep, go. So biomech with giant insects, guys, from Ancient. This is Mid-Journey 2 or 3. I think Mid-Journey 3. I think this is Mid-Journey 3. It's got a very ESR Ganish look to it, if you see all the curves and the swirls and the line art. Especially in the background where everything just kind of turns into weird bone skeleton structure. It's like sort of weird. Hey, but it worked though, didn't it? It looked great. So that's what we actually are sending. A little bit nicer, a little bit more quality because it's larger, basically. Oh, and look at this. Isn't that a beauty? You gotta love Sea Dream. It's so good. Dragon Diffusion asks, L and Clip G, you can get better versions. Oh yeah, so Stone was asking about clip models for SDXL. Yeah, thank you Dragon for answering that. It is old UNet tech now, but I think there is a Clip L which is extended for extra context. I think you might be able to find like a long Clip L, but I think G is already quite long. I think like one of them was shorter than the other. You'll have to look. I'd have to make sure. I would need to make sure about that. But I think Dragon's giving you good info. Yeah. To be honest, I found just keeping it inside the limit was usually a good idea because then there's more attention on each token. You know, longer. The problem with long context prompts is that often you're chaining the attention, and so each word is now less strength per word, right? So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to pipe this immediately into video, of course, because if we're going to spend 0.3 and get something like that, that's pretty good. I like that. But we're going to do it in a bit of a fun way. Or we're going to see about doing it in a fun way anyway. So it's like you get a choice whether you want to or not. That's my concept here. So instead of just chaining it, we're going to use that new feature that everyone loves. Dragon says Vic Clip L or Clip Large. Yeah, I just think there's a long context version. I forget. You'd have to look into it. But I'm sure there's ways of extending the length of the prompt because Comfy does it. I think it's just built in, actually. So Clip L. Right. Warped Clip L. Warped Dual Clip Loader. What the heck? Anybody know what Warped Clip Loader is? Sounds pretty awesome. I've forgotten what it is. Anyway, we're going to say Bite Dance. And it's going to be not Sea Dream, but image to video. Now, you're probably thinking, what the hell? Load... crap. What was it called? Load last image? Load previous? No. Load output? Yeah, there it is. So, from the Comfy core, not a custom node. Load image from outputs. We haven't got one yet. So what I'll do is I'll just... okay. Go. Ah, it's not from outputs though. Damn it. See, I'm not in the outputs folder, am I? I'm in whatever custom folder I've put it in. Damn. Do you know what I need? I need to make a version of this which accepts a custom path. Because right now I'm not, you know, that's not where I... Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I don't think it'll pick it up. I might have to just turn that off. Yeah, I hate doing it, but I'm going to have to just turn it off because otherwise this doesn't work. Ooh. Ooh. So good. Beautiful. I want more shrimpy. We need to make more shrimpy. So this one should go into the output folder and then I can uncheck that. I should be able to refresh. If you say auto refresh after generation. And the idea is, if it's a good output, you let it run. If it's not a good output, you block it. And so then you get like a stopgap. You get like a little, I don't know what you call it. So that one looks good. You see what I mean? Well, it's not the best one we've had yet, but that one looks good. And then also, of course, you might be thinking, but Johnson, you can't just put an image prompt into a video. And you're right, you can't. But you know what we have got? What's that? Boyo image grab node. Really? Ah, Boyo, come in clutch with the thing. Please have it. Boyo image grab. Grabby Boyo. Let's see it. Directory path. Mate, legend. All right, hang on. Let's see if we can get it to work now with the project file path, because that would be even sicker. See, I don't like just spewing videos into a folder, because if you actually get into it, you try to open the folder and it's like 1,000 videos loading, and you're just bricking your machine all the time. You've got to use folders, guys. And it's like if you have a new machine, you'll be okay, but slowly it'll gum up over time. So I'll say SD4. Just do SD4. And yes. No, wait. Project. It's going to be ENH video. I'm just going to go straight. ENH video. Based SD4 API. Oh, let's say API there as well. So it's like, there we go, SD4 API. And model C-Dream, yes. Okay, we got that in there. Now, my thought is I should be able to just... I don't know if that's going to work. It might be that I have to assemble it. Full path, right. Let's do a show any and find out. Okay. Do a preview on it. Okay. Auto refresh logger, file name. I don't think I need the file name. Right, let's just see. Yeah, I thought so. It doesn't exist. So I need to get the base path. Pardon me. I need to get the base path and put it together. So SD4 API. So where's the base? What's the base path for Comfy? For my Comfy. So annoying. Yeah. That's just annoying. It's not your fault, boyo. It's my fault. If I just put my path in, it would be fine. In fact, do you know what? I know what that is. I'll put the path, the actual path, here. Okay. I could build it programmatically, but it's like it won't work for other people. You know, it'll work for me, but not other people, because my path is going to be different, right? But yeah, if I just go into outputs, force of habit, actually opening the folders. But yeah, I haven't got my keyboard plugged in. Holy shit, where is it? I left it at home. Typical. Okay. SD4 API. Let me just make sure everything's set up, because I'm getting carried away with like side quests here. Get stuck in recursion. I need to make sure that this is actually working. So basically I need get that. Yes, that's right. Okay, right. And then we take the prompt that we put into the image model. Yeah. Okay, put that in there. Yeah. And then duplicate the Zenkai ENH, put that into there. So essentially same model, right? So we're not loading two models. It's just the same model being loaded with a different system prompt and prompt. That's what's happening. We take the image off there, and then we do the same total pixels 0.75, take the actual image, put that into there. Okay, cool. So now what we've actually got here is my T2V temporal ENH. Where is it? T2V temporal base. So that is going to make it into a video prompt for us. Obviously you can give it more instruction if you want, but I'm just going to put it in full auto mode for now. So yeah, plug that into the prompt. We're going to pick 720 because if we're going to do this, no, 1080. If we're doing this. Okay. Do I need adaptive is good. No, let's go 21 to 9. Give me the full beans. Give me the beans. No watermark. We'll go with camera fixed for now. Duration. I want the beans. Give me all the beans. How many credits have we got? Oh, you got karma to burn, guys. Alright. Classic album, by the way. Save video? Drake. No. It's gonna be VHS combine. All the way. Oi, stop. It does this every day. I'm just gonna start typing. You piece of crap. Combine. VHS video. There, see? It's like trying to like open all kinds of craziness on me. So video. So I'm gonna have to make this not create video. You annoyance. Hold up. No. Wait. No. Where's the thing that splits this stupid video format out? I'm really not interested in it. Hang on. Save video. See, that's crap. We need the thing that... Create video. We need the opposite of that. God, it's annoying. Do you know what? I'm just going to have to accept that... I'm sure there's a node for this. I'm having like a brain flake right now. I can't remember the name of the damn thing. It's like the core node that splits open that node. I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere. Get video components. Thank you, whoever created this. Jeez. You know, I just like to be able to do the things. Do you know what I mean? Some things are missing and I go, the things, I need the things. If I need the things, I can't use the thing. And that's the end of it, you know? So that should be it. So then the only thing we didn't do, which we'll break in a minute, that'll load from outputs actually. So I'll come back to your node, boyo. It's not your fault it doesn't work, mate. It's my fault for using custom outputs. And I'll come back to it. So let's see what happens. Are we going to get it going? We're going to get it going on. Do it refresh? Not really. Maybe. So we've got like the output from the previous down here now. Right, so what have I missed? Have I missed something? Let's just separate this a little bit better. So we've got image there, and then we've got the video. Sorry, image there, then video. Image gen, and then the video gen. Video gen. There we go. It's going to cost how much? $1.42 per run. It better be good, damn it. Dom says, heading for some food before 2 a.m. here. We'll pause and finish watching when I get back. Great show tonight, mi amigo. Thanks, Dom. Look forward to speaking to you soon, dude. Like I said, I'm glad you could catch this show. This one was a big one. I know it can get a little bit like crazy with the explanations sometimes, but it kind of comes with the territory. Most of the time we're just doing fun media stuff, but it's important to know what's going on under the skin. So that's what we're doing. So here we go. We've generated another one. Not the best generation. By the way, I could do an upscale step before I go into the video, but I want to see what the quality of the video looks like, because there might be no point. There might be no point. Like if the quality drops, there's no point making it better on the way in. In fact, you should probably drop it on the way in. and just not bother with that. So let's just reorganize things a little bit, make it look a little bit less unconventional. So I'd say that's about there, that's about right. Probably would be a good idea to actually display the enhanced video prompts. And I would also say it's going to be a really good idea to start saving your prompts with your outputs. You will thank me later if you do it. This workflow doesn't do it. But the idea is, in fact, Boyo has the node for that. Let's do that one. Save image and text. Save image with extra metadata. Surely not. No, that's not it. Where's your thing, Boyo? Boyo. Image paired saver. That's the one we want. We need a video one, Boyo. I've got an order for you. I need I need Boyo paired video saver on aisle 3 for cleanup. But yeah, so the idea would be obviously, wait, why does it say original image and control net image? Have I picked the wrong one? God damn it. I thought I was getting the one with the text. Where's the one with the text? Boyo, image, loop saver, image grab. How come, is that fake? Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Paired saver. Yeah, I'm on paired saver, but it's pairing 2 images. It's not what I want. I want to save the text. I want to save the prompt, the caption. You know what I mean? Caption image. Dataset pair. I know you've got the node. I just can't remember what the damn thing's called. This is a real problem with Comfy. I hope that they find a way to refactor the search, because I know you have it. Paired saver, not image pair. Do you see what I mean? Paired saver, not image pair. It's not Boyo paired image saver. It's Boyo paired saver. So I forgot the word image. I forgot. And so I'm like, oh, I want to save the image with the prompt. It's like, yeah, but it's the one without the... I get it, okay? It's not your fault. It's English. English is terrible for this sort of thing. So anyway, like I said, put the image in there. And then put the output in there. Because even if it's crap, it's better than nothing. I can write a script to process and clean up garbage, you know, outside of a string that, you know. Paired saver, not paired image saver. Yeah, I know, we got there in the end, bud, don't worry. But no, this is a great little node. I've got my own version of this, but his is slicker, so I prefer his. So essentially it's going to create, so I mean, I tend to actually put something here which is like, you know, something, just something, right? So say like what we're doing right now is a seed API, right? And I'd just change it myself, or make this the project name. Maybe if you have a project name, I'd make it the project name. But like I said, boyo, I need one for video. Maybe I'll just make it. I could always fork your node, you know. It's not like I'm telling you what to do. I could always make my own based on yours. But maybe you want to do it because it's easy. I don't know. It's up to you. Regardless, it would be nice to be able to start keeping the caption with the video so we can start building up more video data sets. Doesn't look like that came through, so it must just be taking forever. So we've got our video. I'm just going to watch the video or download the video. What's it? 23 megabytes. Who's going to get there first? Me. I got there first. Okay. Wow, full screen, please. That's not bad. We'll make a couple of them. It's time to burn some credits. Very nice. Very nice. Ah, Dragon said he's going to build it for us, guys. What a guy. What a guy. Nice one, mate. Now, it should automatically update with the... I think it's making the same image again. That's not good. Oh, wait, no, it's still the last image because we're just quicker than he is. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Comfy's awesome. I'm not criticizing, okay? It's just a bit slow sometimes, that's all. There we go. So that's the video that we were waiting on. 21 to 9. Hell yeah, dude. 21 to 9 at 1080p. I'll take it. And then is the next one ready though? Because look, refresh. It hasn't changed to the new image. It's not changing. Because I don't want to... Right, I'm going to block that. Sucks to be you. See... Because unless I see it change, I don't want to make the same video twice. That's entirely the reason for having it separated like this. Because the idea is if I can just toggle this... Because obviously it hasn't changed. That's supposed to be the last image that was made. This one. But it's changed to that video. Guys. Diabolical, right? So the system doesn't work because... Oh wait! There it is! It changed. God, that's so unreliable and horrific. Because it's misleading. That means it will work. Okay, that means it will work. But but wait, so I can't filter it? Because I don't know what's going to be there. Oh, hang on. I got it. Okay. Now run it. We should get new image here, and then it will make this image. So it's kind of offset, right? That's what should happen. But I've got a funny feeling it's just going to make a new image and then create a new image. You know what I mean? It depends whether we get the video of... I want to get this video as we get a new image. So that then we can make a decision whether we want the video by just muting this. That's all we have to do. Just mute that one node if you don't like the video, you know? But I have a funny feeling that it's gonna skip this or do something even more cursed, like take a prompt from this one, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not gonna match because it's gonna use a prompt from a different image. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's gonna use the wrong prompt. Oh well, that's stupid. Never mind. I do enjoy trying to build these things though. All it does often is just expose that it's not going to work actually. Because the thing is, right, if we make image here, makes image there, prompt then gets sent on to here. So prompt for video only is correct if we just do it all in one. So no point doing this. You just have to hit it with what do you call it? You just got to go brass balls and just do it. Classic. Oh well, it was a nice idea. See, I was trying to put a gate in between image generation and video generation so you could just human in loop, one button, nope, yes, nope, and not waste your money on video which you don't know, because you don't even know what this image is, do you? You're generating it now. Obviously the way around this is just to do two workflows. So you batch create a bunch of images, curate the folder from the ones you don't like, and then batch create the image to video. That's a simple, way to get around it. But I was looking for something a little bit more elegant that had a nice flow to it. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. We've only made two images so far, and it looks fine. Let's tidy this up a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Ooh, yeah. Load image and prompt. No, load image and text dataset from folder. God, I love this thing. So actually mine is actually better in a way because I'm not doing any of that stuff. You see what I mean? This is like, ooh, put your clip in and get the conditioning. But of course, we're using APIs, so we don't do any of that clip stuff. But it's nice. I thought this was a really cool take on my image prompt system. So it's like more advanced because it does the clip embedding for you. But the weird thing is that my basic text system ends up being more dynamic because you can just plug it into more stuff. You know, you can't put conditioning into an API. So, you know, I was about to just replace this with that. And then I remembered, oh, yeah, no. So, in case you're not familiar with this, I'm sure most of you are by now. Man standing in front of giant red bug with lots of gears on its wings. This is Insect Invasion, my old friend. We're going to hit it with the T2i ENH Biomech. We're going to use the Intern VL3. That's the image that we're putting in. It's going to enhance to that prompt, which is impressive. We're then going to send that into ByteDance Seedream at 21:9, which gives us this image. And then we're going to immediately use an I2V temporal base prompt enhancer. Again, running the same local model for free, giving us this beautiful video prompt with temporal features injected in. And we're going to create another awesome video, maybe. I mean, it's, you know, it's doing it. How many more do we get? 11. So probably get another 5 videos. If they're like 150 each, it's probably another 5 or 6 videos. And again, it's completely determined by, you know, whatever the hell it randomly picks to go in there. But it's fully automated. I'm happy with the quality that's coming out of there. So, you know, it just turns into, whatchamacallit? Just turns into art gacha. People don't like that. They really hate that. They really don't like that. Art gacha. Man, if you just keep spinning, you'll get a masterpiece. You'll be in the Louvre. Right, while it's doing this, I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, I've been looking at running a bunch of stuff on a Steam Deck as well lately, because they do technically run on Linux, and they become quite powerful pocket PCs, which obviously still, you know, it's a Steam Deck. They're getting cheap now, I don't know if you noticed. But basically, you can put them into Linux mode, and you'd be surprised how much you can run on them, guys. They've got a GPU and a little bit of hardware. I wonder what kind of LLM we could get running on it. I'm sure other people have done it, so it's not like new. But it's just something interesting. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, wait a minute. You mean we can do that too? And it's like, yep. You can have your futuristic Game Gear Ultra or whatever. This thing's got Helldivers 2 on it. What the hell? Insane. But I don't care about that. I want my car X Street. Okay. Like I said, we're doing rituals tonight. What's going on here? Oh boy. Oh no, there's like a person being eaten. That's not good. Oh, whoa, it's got wings. Holy crap. Look at this guy. Oh, shit. He's got me. Help. No way. That guy is looking pretty worried. I love it. This is good. So let's just go for... We'll go for 8, and it will just blast whatever credit is left on there. It's probably too many images, right? Let's post that one up. So save, preview. See, I think this will be very much worthy of the upscale technique. So I'll have to do some more work. Because like I said, we've got our post-processing stuff. So, in fact, cancel the thing. No. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have cancelled the whole thing. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Right, so what I need to do, let me show you this. Should we do cathode ray? I think cathode ray is always fun. Oh crap, it's this thing again. I still need to... Yeah, there we go, we got it. Alright, is there an FPS on this? Don't know. I'm going to say flickering or fluctuating. Degraded is a good one as well. Don't need curvature. Don't need scan lines. Turn glow to 05. Color bleeding at 01. Because yeah. But the noise 03. That's the most important one. And then obviously we'll do my upscale. What's it called now? Oh, jeez. I always forget which one is which. I think interleaved is the image one. Or is it the other way around? We've got interleaved and interlaced. I think interlaced is video. Yeah, interlaced is video, interleaved is image. Subtle difference, but it will make it's speed really that's the difference. Okay, so it's 21 to 9 there. So I need to grab the dimensions. So get image, size and count. So I'll put that there. Do I have to do I guess we'll find out. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, batch size. Nice. I was wondering if I had to grab a single image or not. So I don't know why, but it's the opposite way round. For some reason, height is first. It's probably my fault. I'm going to be using advanced bicubic Bob, my old friend. I'm not going to bother with temporal radius because it's just going to make it a lot slower, and you probably won't even notice. But it does have that ability. Right. Now, is there anything else I want to do? So obviously, how much bigger do I want to make it? If I'm at 1080p and I want to go up by a scale of 1.5, it might get me to 2K. But we're going to say, no, we're going to say scale factor 2 on this one. And then we'll do another one of these. Get the FPS. Put that there. Oh, actually, let's not get the FPS. Now then. Yeah, we're going to have to do interpolation first and just process more frames. It'll probably explode though. It's going to be a lot of frames. So the question is, where do you put the rife, right? Because if you put rife in front, this is just a consideration thing, guys. I'm not telling you what to do. If you have an effect, right? So we've got 1080p video already, and it should be 12 seconds of 1080p. So we've already got 12 seconds of 1080p. That means the the actual upscaler, that's going to come last. Definitely last. Now cathode ray is going to struggle to process higher than 1080p. Just being real, you know, it's just going to struggle basically because it's a programmatic process, like it's like a Python post-processing thing. So obviously this is going to have the bigger the image, the longer it takes. The bigger the batch, the longer it takes. So this as well, the bigger the image, the longer it takes. So I'm thinking probably put the interpolation here so that I don't know though, because you'd think the effect will be better if we do the interpolation first, but then it's going to have to process more frames. So it's a bit of a nightmare no matter how you look at it. So how about we change the order here? Put that in there, and then put that in there. So we just have more frames, and we just have to deal with the fact that it's going to be a long sequence chain or whatever. Why are you stuck in what's it mode? It's gooning. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's gooning. For some reason... Oh, there we go. He had sticky hands. Look at it, the mouse is going nuts. Are we like trying to save something somewhere? No. Alright, it's just hackers, guys. Don't worry about it. See, look at this. What the hell's going on with the UI? It's completely glitched out. Cool. There we go. We're back. We fixed it. Very strange little thing there. So, what's the multiplier? I actually think multiplier 3. I mean, what does the motion look like? It's pretty natural, right? It is pretty. It's not too fast or too slow. So how about we take the frame rate off there and we go for what is the frame rate? It's never actually told me what the frame rate is. It's just been passing the variable around everywhere. Oi! Save. I think we're probably going to have to put a thing on this. So is that it? Yeah, that's one of them. So details. 24 frames per second. So 24, 48. If it's 24 and we times it by 3. It's like 72, you know. I think we used that before to keep, you know, we're not really bothered about audio sync, but you know, I want to give it good interpolation, but then keep the time correct. I can reinterpret it back to 60 FPS, no problem. That's not a problem. Makes me wonder though, how hard would it be to shoot for 120? It's only 6. Do you know what I mean? It's only 6. It is quite a big amount though for Rife. There are newer interpolation models that can do multiplier 8 with no problem, and they're really good at like super slow motion. I forget the name of the one, but it's one at Kijai has the wrapper for it. We did videos on it as well. Now, like I said, the only thing I'm concerned about is that this should be its own workflow where we're batch loading the videos from the end of this workflow. But I'm willing to take a stab on this because it might be that we need to do something like this. Okay. Because it might be that the you know, after doing, well, here, calculator time. So if we have 24 frames per second and we have 15 seconds, and then we do a 3x interpolation, we now have 1080 frames, which is probably at 1080p more than your computer can handle. I know I prefer to batch things in like 200s. divide it by 8, it's 135. So if you did it in 8 frames at a time, 8 frames at a time, it's going to be 135. So how about we do 1080, and instead of 8, we do, say, 64 frames at a time, or 128 frames at a time, say. Whoops. 128 is reasonable. Oh, damn it, that's not good math. It's not good math, guys. 1080 divided by, I thought 64, 128 would be fine. No. See, so 17 times 64 is 1088. Classic. Divide by 8 problems. Stone Sage says, so I made noodles for myself. Your image effect nodes are amazing, but for more of authentic effect, they can be passed to unit pipeline as embeddings, so that the model generates images with those effects. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's exactly what that other node does. Yeah, it's more specific for when you want to use clip for inference, because I'm not always doing that. Sometimes I just want prompts and texts for anything really. We've got the special effects and all kinds of stuff in here. But thank you. Yes, you can definitely do that. You can pass the text into an embedding if you want. I don't do that myself, but yeah, that's what clip is when you do your clip text. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, so just to cap this off, if I was to say 64, so let's say I put 64 here, it's going to take 17 passes to make one video. It's going to take forever. It's not great. And it's because it's 17, see, it doesn't divide. So fun. Divide by 8's so fun. It just keeps coming up, You just can't escape divide by 8. So what I'm going to do is this will be a separate workflow. I already have the WAN companion, which is basically this that you're looking at here. But it was designed for 480p because that's what the output standard was. It could take 720p output, but putting 1080p output in at the 15-second or 12-second length. Oh, it's not 15, it's 12. But, you're kind of pushing it. I think you're pushing your luck. I think you're pushing your luck there. Even with the system like what I have. The post-FX sometimes needs a dedicated workflow. That's all I'll say there. I mean, let's see it, right? Enough talk. 1. Why did it suddenly jump over there? I guess it just really wanted to. And why has that got a blue background now? That's not even the text it's using. Strange. Okay, so we have our image from my dataset. Hopefully we'll get an image. Oh, do you think it's something to do with this? Ooh, that's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. Stone says, you don't understand. I don't want to prompt for the effect. Your nodes have an image output. It should have a model output. No. They don't need a model output. You don't need to pass tensors. Because what model are you using? I don't know what model you're using. You see, my nodes are model agnostic. You can push these into any pipeline. Any model has an image input pipeline, and they're not the same. So depending on what model you're using, depends on what image method you're using. Some of them only have text to image with IP adapter. Others have image input. Sometimes you can do multi-image input. And so it wouldn't be practical, or it would be too specific, let's say. So SDXL, yeah. So, okay, so with SDXL, you pass that into the VAE. So, that's how it's done. VAE and Co, right? SDXL. Wait for it. Juggernaut. Yeah. So we have the VAE for SDXL, and now the latent goes to your K-sampler, you know, in your SDXL. So you just got to imagine that's an SDXL workflow, just mutated into existence. Okay. So that's just real jugs. Don't worry about that. So yeah, we have the image coming off of my thing, but the thing is, where you've got, say you've got the positive and the negative, if we do the clip text encode from the clip for the SDXL, and then we put the conditioning in like this, we just take that there and put that like that, get rid of that, and that's done. See? SDXL. And then, what is it? You want to do a decode on it? Like that. Shove that one there. There we go. SDXL done. But with the automatic prompting. And then obviously you put folders of images and prompts into folders. You have many data sets of whatever it is you want to work with, and it's automatic. Obviously you can put bits in between and make it more complicated, like for example we've put the LLM in between, so we've got an LLM in between our data set and images and our prompting. And so then by pre-programming everything, right now I've got it doing Geiger stuff. I'm doing Geiger studies with anything that gets put in it. It's anything to Geiger, but it's done with like a balance, so it's not going to completely override it. It'll keep some of that look and structure, and so that's how you end up with that. It's a Geigerized version of this, but it's biomechanical. See, sometimes the spine goes a little bit weird, but it is here we go. How about that? So it's automatic. Oh, you're talking about the CRT effects. Yeah, I don't do them with LLMs. I don't do that with AI. It's programmatic, mate. It's just Python. I'm not. See, that's the thing. I don't do post effects with prompting. I actually do post effects with Python. So it's real. You know what I mean? It's a real film grain. It's not a fake film grain that the AI pretends. It's a real film grain. Yeah? And we got loads of them as well. Like this has got special, it applies a film grain effect over time, fully customizable. So yeah, all of these effects in DJZ nodes, they're actually Python. You can open them up and have a look inside. They're not fake. They are real effects. And there are lots of them as well. There's lots of them. I think it's going to explode though, guys. I think it's going to explode. I don't think we're actually going to get... What I should have done, when I'm unsure of it, as often what I'll do is I'll just... When I'm unsure of things, which what I should have done is this, I should have put that one on there at 24. No, wait, 70, yeah, no, 72 is 72. I should have put that one there. I should have put that one there. I should have put... Oh, wait, that one is there. So, you know, just to make sure that we actually get something, because obviously... I'm going to stop this one. Because what's going to happen is it's going to go through, and then it's potentially going to blow up before it saves the video. So, it's a good idea to just put, like, a save on it, even though you're going to chain it to something else. I don't know. Look at it struggle. Oh, ow. Global interrupt, no prompt ID specified, interrupting prompts, but it's going to keep going. You know, some of these nodes are like, I've started, so I've finished, and some of them are like I said, that could be quite tough on a little laptop if you put a big enough video in. It's like for anything, you know? But yeah, there's not just that one. Let me just see here. CRT. See, there's another one. You see what I mean? These are all just Python effects. Python is perfectly capable of doing image processing, and it's very fast. So it's sort of like, if you want reliable effects that are actually parameterized and controllable, you can just use normal processors for that. You don't need to, you know, break your back with trying to get the gen to do it. Because the generation might do it, But it'll be more consistent if you use, like I said, a programmatic process. Look at this thing. It looks like... What's it called? Hallenstagish. But Geiger. Big time Geiger. What the hell? That's super freaky. Is this farming in 2060? It's just a farm robot. Like poorly maintained biomechanical tools. Yeah, look, it's completely... Look, it's like... help! Yeah, this thing needs to be done. It's too many frames for one go. There's probably like 1,000 frames. So yeah, it's... But the way to solve it is, and I've already done it, the WAN companion has batch manager. So it's possible to just split a job out and then you can still... But yeah, this is cooked. Look. I've just got to wait. And then the joke is it won't give me an output because there was no video on there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look. Yeah. Alright, so let's make some more freaky videos. I think I'll go for 4, and then I'll have to top up the thing. Let me have a look at it. What are we up to? $8.13, guys. Make them count. But yeah, this is going to work nice. I'm just going to let it run a bunch. It's a shame that, you know, it's kind of, like I say, when you have a big old folder, they're all going to be good. Do you know what I mean? They're all going to be good. So it's kind of like you've just got to run it and see what you like, and you know that's just the way it is. I'm very happy with this sort of ByteDance approach, where you have like a local enhancer. Oh crap! Look at this. Get rid of that. But yeah, where you have a local enhancer. Running the image. So we are doing the biomechanical Geiger enhancement, so it's not going to come out looking like this. It's going to come out looking like this, which is very similar but not the same. Similar but extremely similar, but you know, we've kind of done a little style transfer on that, and then hopefully we'll get a good image out of it. I mean, they all look pretty good, like, you know, I can't complain. I think they're all pretty sweet. Have you finished updating yet or what? My god, Red Dead Redemption 2 is on this thing? That's nuts. Red Dead Redemption 2 running on a Steam Deck. It just doesn't seem normal. Oh well. It is what it is. It makes you wonder what the next generation of portable handhelds is going to be like, because it's sort of like almost like if you don't use a computer for AI and the performance is just as good. It's like the Switch, you know? If you want a big screen, you just plug it into the big screen. What do you need a $2,000 or £2,000 plus PC for if you can just get a handheld? I don't know. It's funny, this sort of thing comes around every 20 years. I can remember like the PSP and how that ended. Somehow it's still worth it. Like, I think you can get like expensive ones. I forget what it's called now. But the thing about the Steam Deck is it is genuinely cheap, because they made loads of them and you can buy them at pawn shops, and they're not yeah. Got to be careful when you're buying electronics, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, it's kind of crazy, the value. It's funny, actually, I was looking at PS2s the other day. Might get an old PS2. They're actually pretty cool. All those old games are just like solid, and they like no DLC, no nothing, just play the game. You got the full game. You know, it's kind of like an abstract concept these days. You know, you actually get the full game. You know, it wasn't like a 3-year staged release where actually you spent $100 on 10% of the game and then they drip feed you with content for years. It's like $20 every time you want to keep playing it for another month. Subtle subtle. I think the best games do it where, like, Helldivers 2 is a pretty good example where they, like, gave you the ability to earn everything in game. So you can buy, but you can just play the game a lot and never pay. And I think that's, you know, you reward loyalty like that. So if people are active in the game, they don't pay for DLC, you know? But if you haven't played it for a while and you want to just jump in with your friends, you can just pop 20 bucks on the thing and off you go. But it doesn't, like, stop you from getting in there. You're not locked out. It's just, you know, oh, I got a yellow helmet. It's just visual stuff, prestige, you know. It's funny. That's kind of, I think they've got the best model. It's much better than, oh, do you want to play this game with me? Yeah, you got to buy the 40 DLC. Yeah, I know you've already got it, but you need to unlock the game again. That sucks. And this is why I'm like, PS2, man. PS2 games were solid, like Tekken. I want to get the old Tekken again. Play a bit of that. I think it'd be fun. Getting into beat 'em ups, you got to watch out. God knows what will happen. Man, this video takes forever. I'm just going to download it myself. Oh my god. Yeah, look at the bandwidth. So, are they using, like, the cheapest possible server to do this? Yes. It's coming from AP Southeast. TOS AP Southeast. We've been over this before. It's Volces. VOLCES. Not voices. That caught me out. I was like, not reading the thing. Look at it. 7 minutes to download the video. What the hell? So the generation isn't slow. It's them downloading it to you that's slow. Look at this. So the generation probably took seconds. Error writing API log. See, we're getting choked out by stupid API. Stupid API, look. It can't download as a 25 megabyte file. Listen, mate, if you're going to charge me $1.42 to generate a video, you better pack in a decent, like, delivery system, because, you know, it's like a chocolate teapot if you don't get the video. It's like, oh, the fastest image generation, fastest video generation, guys. It takes 3 seconds to generate the video and 5 minutes to download it. That's not great. Now, this isn't Comfy's fault. They don't run vultures, all right? Whatever the hell. They don't run vultures, okay? So it's not their fault. Blame where? Leave the blame at the right feet, you know? It's not Comfy's fault. It's not my fault either. Fucking ByteDance have decided to put us on a trunk road for the network. It's like, does it really take 10 minutes? It took 10 minutes to download a 25 meg video. Now you might say, oh, you downloading it, slowing it down. Maybe. It still took 5 minutes, no matter how you slice it. Good quality, but because the thing is, you know, obviously if you do it all in one thing, it's going to take forever. And it actually wasn't the hardware that was the problem. It was the freaking download speed of the server delivering you the video. I will say, though, that is cool. That is super cool. Look at that. I love the blinking portholes it's given us. Meaty portholes. Seems like there's a bird just riding the updraft here. Kids having a great time. Hey Disney, do you want a new idea? I got a new idea. Do you want to buy it? Dragon says, you misunderstand. It's the Chinese firewall that's the slowness. I can agree. I can agree. But hang on a minute, Dragon. Think about it, though. We're in the UK, right? So don't we just get a VPN directly to China now that we're in the firewall too, right? Aren't we? You know, we're getting all the same stuff, right? So shouldn't we be allowed to just directly connect to our brothers in Redville or whatever they call it? Because, you know, it's just a joke, guys. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Oh, the next one's going to look amazing, but it's going to take 6 days to be delivered. It's going to be amazing, though. We're going to have a dude with a dog. We're going to have a crazy bio thing. It's going to be cool. I love it. This is some really cool imagery. And it's going to take next week. Next week we'll have that one ready. I'm just going to post a couple of these videos into the whatchamacallit section so you can have a look at these. Where are they? Video sharing. Hey, I agree that we shouldn't introduce digital ID cards, but it's kind of like I need to try and not be political in the Discord, guys. Do you know what I mean? It's just not advantageous to us to be political. Do you know what I mean? I don't disagree, though, all right? Some things you can just come out and say, right? No, the digital ID's stupid, and they've been trying to push this. Anyway, I try to stay away with the politics. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, we're not really allowed. We don't really have free speech in this country, guys. I got to be very careful. Like I said, I talk about the education. We do art. We do AI. But yeah, bad times. You know. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, I know you guys all want to talk about it, and it's up in the Discord. Because it is crazy, right? But at the same time, many a madcap scheme were proposed by governments that didn't last long. So I just hope it's going to be one of them. Yeah? Yeah, good luck with setting up the port. You may get a knock on the door. Well, I just thought that, you know, because we're basically partners, we may as well get preferential, like, VPN connection, right? It's a joke. Let's have a look. That is cool. Whoa. I like the proboscis. The biological meat proboscis is nuts. Very cool. Post that one up. Ba-bum, bum, bum. Full screen. There you go. Done. I've got my own Helsinki stuff. I don't need to but it is a really cool style, but a lot of my work is like parallel, so I've already kind of got my own studies on those influences. And again, I don't really try to ape. Like, if you notice, my Geiger style isn't really Geiger. I called it Don't Say Rudy, which is Geiger without saying Geiger, by projecting his influences to try and estimate original works rather than emulating those that already exist. So there's no Laura here. It's pure prompt engineering. And so what you get is what the model has. You see what I mean? We haven't fine-tuned. This is all API. Because obviously you could prompt Helsinki stuff, or Helsinki, you could prompt that, but it's not going to actually translate unless they trained it. Yeah. Dragon says the video node for pairing, is that for text pair saving? Yeah, perfect. And you're going to add audio tomorrow. Ah, yeah, very good idea for making audio data sets. There's something as well. Future proofing. I like future proofing. Smart. Again, not being political. See, the thing is, guys, I don't actually believe the government listened to a damn, what's it called? What are they called? Petitions? You know, I see those as like a suggestion box. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really think that they pay much attention. You know, we've had many... Oh, but it is a lot of signatures. I will say it is a lot of signatures. But the point I'm trying to make is like... They don't, you know what I mean? They don't really pay attention to that stuff, man. We need to get out there and vote, if you know what I'm saying. It's definitely voting time. But yeah. I'll deliver the Lex videos into the video sharing so you guys can see them later. But I think we're pretty much covered. So it's just gone 11 o'clock. I got to get out of here. I got to go to bed. I'm planning on getting up early tomorrow. So look out for the pings. There's probably going to be an early show tomorrow. And we're going to be doing more art stuff. Because I think that, you know, we've done a lot of vibe coding over the last week. And it's been awesome. It's been very productive. We've made major breakthroughs. But at the end of the day, I want to get back to the art for a couple of days. It's like a nice little palette cleanser after all of that. Last thing I'll say before I leave you guys, and I hope you enjoy your Saturday evening, is we got music out. So there's new music which has been releasing over the course of the last, you know, week or so, and continues to be released. You can find them in the inside line. As they come out, I generally push them. Oh, up straight. Okay. I'm actually made a playlist which has got all of my funk stuff. There's 10 hours of my funk music now on the Spotify's. And let's see, the last album to come out was Unfortunate, which is my CCR, you know, CCR ape. And then here we're aping 80s with Steak and Eggs. So those were the lyrical projects, were experiments into different genres that I don't normally touch. So that was fun, and we've still got more to come. I don't know if it's going to be tonight or tomorrow, but I know there are more albums coming out because I was trying to clear them out, see? Let's see if I can get you a date on what's left. So it looks like the only one left is Techno. Or should I say Tech Now. That one's going to be coming out on the 30th. So actually that's going to be a couple of days. Well, next Tuesday. Damn. See you next Tuesday. Huh. Okay, well, I will, in that case, sign off. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for putting up with my rantings tonight. But it's been a big one. So, like I say, look forward to tomorrow. We'll be putting a ping up in the Discord just to let people know when things get started. And we're doing a little bit of a special tomorrow. So just a bit of a longer show. So watch out for that. Thank you all. And get out of here.
Alex, the rest of your minutes deal.
Ja, mi zmartsaal. It's not smash again. What's just Say, Mom, I buy it, everything goes miss. Just give it to one again, like, so you can keep it. My bar, I never thought to
Stop.